You ever wonder why your progress stays invisible? Why people overlook your efforts, underestimate your power, or flat out ignore your ambition? Even though you speak your dreams, share your plans, and try to prove your worth, you still feel stuck. Let me break that illusion for you, because the truth is ruthless, and most men aren't built to hear it. They don't overlook you because you're not good enough. They overlook you because you talk too much. You leak your power with every word. You announce what you should be building in silence. And the men who run this world, they don't explain, they execute. They don't seek attention. They let results speak louder than their mouths ever could. This video isn't about self-help fluff or trendy motivation. It's about masculine order, Stoic law, silent dominance, a forgotten principle that once made men dangerous. A law that says reveal nothing, build everything. In a culture that rewards noise and punishes focus, silence has become your secret weapon. So if you're done being overlooked, if you're done being predictable, emotional, and weak, then it's time to learn the ancient Stoic law they never taught you. Here are the 7 silent principles every man must master. Use them without announcing, and you'll never have to prove your worth again. Number 1, speak less, think deeper. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time your words actually carried weight? Not because you were loud, not because you were emotional, but because when you finally spoke, people shut up and listened. For most men today, that moment never comes, because they've spent their lives running their mouths, talking to be heard, talking to fill silence, talking to feel important. But here's the truth. The more you talk, the cheaper your words become, and cheap men are never respected. The Stoics understood this centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius said it clearly: waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. He wasn't talking about debate. He was talking about action over noise, presence over performance. Every time you open your mouth needlessly, you leak masculine energy. You tell the world, I need attention, I need validation, I want to be seen. But real men don't broadcast power, they embody it. And silence is one of the sharpest tools in their arsenal. So here's the first law of Stoic execution. Cut 90% of your talking. No more explaining yourself. No more oversharing. No more filling gaps just to be liked. If it doesn't serve the mission, shut it down. Start practicing intentional speech. Here's how you do it. For the next 7 days, track every conversation you have. Ask yourself after each one, was that necessary? Did that strengthen my mission or distract from it? Cut the fluff. When you speak, speak with purpose. Short, clear, direct. No extra words, no extra stories, no emotional noise. And here's what happens when you do this consistently. Your presence becomes sharper. People listen more. Women lean in. Men stop interrupting. You start carrying the energy of someone who has nothing to prove, but everything under control, because silence creates mystery. Mystery creates interest, and interest gives you influence without needing to beg for it. Let the weak overshare. Let the boys talk about their plans, their pain, their purpose, like it's a podcast. You move in silence. You think deeper. You speak with precision. And when the time comes, you deliver not with noise, but with results they can't ignore. This is principle 1. Speak less. Think deeper. Say only what strengthens your frame, because the man who masters his tongue has already mastered half the battlefield. Number 2, don't announce. Execute. Here's a hard pill to swallow. Nobody cares about your goals, your plans, your big moves that you keep announcing like some press release. You keep thinking if you talk about it enough, it'll happen, but it won't, because real progress doesn't need a microphone. It needs discipline. Let me be blunt. If you were really locked in, you wouldn't need to talk about it. You'd be too busy executing. You post about your workouts instead of training in silence. You tell everyone about your business idea instead of building it behind closed doors. You share your healing journey instead of actually healing. Talking about it gives you a dopamine hit, but it's fake progress. It tricks your brain into thinking you've done something when all you've done is talk. Epictetus said it best: If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish. That means staying low, staying silent, letting people underestimate you while you sharpen your blade. Masculine energy thrives in the dark. It doesn't beg for applause. It doesn't need to prove anything. It moves in the shadows until the result speaks so loudly, no one can ignore it. So here's the move. Stop announcing your next steps. Stop sharing your goals. Stop talking about what's coming soon. Start building in silence. Use their doubt as fuel. And when the time is right, let the results punch first. Here's the shift you need to make. The next time you feel the urge to announce something, don't. Instead, write it down in private. Let it burn inside you. Let your actions, your routine, your discipline, your results be the only proof of what you're about. You want confidence? It doesn't come from talking yourself up. It comes from knowing you've put in the work when nobody was watching. It comes from holding your vision close to your chest and grinding until it's undeniable. And the best part, when you finally do show up, nobody saw it coming. That's power, that's dominance, that's stoic execution. So let the others keep performing. Let them broadcast their fake progress to the world. You stay quiet. You keep your mission locked down, and you unleash it when it's already done. Don't announce, execute. Let your results do the talking, and watch how quickly the world shuts up. Number 3, master your reactions. Let me make this clear. The man who can't control his reactions is owned by everything around him. He gets triggered by words. He flinches when insulted. He loses his center the moment things don't go his way. And in that moment, he becomes weak, predictable, easy to manipulate. You want to be respected. Start here. Control your face. Control your tone. Control your posture. The Stoics knew this better than anyone. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength, because the world doesn't break the man who can master his own internal storm." This is where most men lose. They walk around emotionally exposed. Every mood shift, every insult, every little inconvenience, they react, they explode, they whine, and just like that, they hand over their power. But a Stoic man, he doesn't flinch, he doesn't explain, he doesn't react. He observes, he absorbs, then he moves with calm, ruthless precision. Here's how you build that. Use what I call the pause. Anytime you're triggered, pause for 5 seconds. Don't respond, don't speak, don't show anything on your face. Just breathe, center yourself, let the wave pass, then respond, if necessary, from a position of strength, not emotion. Practice it everywhere. Someone disrespects you. Pause. Your girl throws a test at you. Pause. Life hits you with some unexpected chaos. Pause. You don't owe the world your reaction. You owe yourself your control. And what happens when you do this consistently? You become unreadable. You become unpredictable. You become dangerous. Why? Because no one knows what moves you. No one knows what breaks you. You hold your center while everyone else scrambles for control. That's what makes leaders. That's what builds kings. So stop wearing your emotions like a badge. Stop being real, if real means reckless. Start being composed, measured, calm, because nothing scares weak men more than a man they can't shake. And here's the truth. Most guys are loud because they're insecure. They overreact because they have no inner frame. You don't need to be loud when you're locked in. You just need to be still, because still water runs deep, and still men dominate rooms without saying a word. Master your reactions. Your silence under pressure will say more than 1,000 emotional outbursts ever could, and that's what makes you truly unshakable. Number 4, protect your energy. Let's get one thing straight. Not everyone deserves your words. Not everyone earns access to your energy, but most men, they give it away like it's free. They explain themselves to people who aren't listening. They argue with people who don't matter. They keep trying to prove their point in conversations that lead nowhere. Here's the truth. Your energy is currency. And the more you waste it, the weaker you become. You don't need to engage in every debate. You don't need to tell your story to people who aren't building your future. And you sure as hell don't need to keep entertaining people who drain your presence just to feed their own. Stoic masculinity isn't just about silence. It's about selective access. It's about realizing you owe the world nothing. Not your explanations, not your opinions, not your emotional availability. So here's your next shift. Stop entertaining people who haven't earned the right to speak into your life. You are not a public forum. You are not a therapy outlet for the emotionally undisciplined. You are not a dumping ground for weak conversations. If a man can't control his mouth, he'll never control his mission. That's why you need boundaries, hard ones. Don't respond to everything. Don't get pulled into gossip, drama, meaningless talk. Silence is your filter. Use it. Here's a practical discipline that will sharpen you fast. Verbal fasts. Once a week for 24 hours. Only speak when absolutely necessary. No small talk. No venting. No emotional sharing unless it's with someone who truly earns your trust. Just silence, presence, and total focus. What does this do? It recalibrates your mind. You stop leaking energy into pointless noise. You become more aware of how much you give away in words. And you start protecting your essence like it's sacred, because it is. And when you live like this consistently, something changes. People feel it. Your energy becomes magnetic, focused, heavy. You walk into a room, and people notice, not because you're loud, but because you're locked in. You're not spread thin across 50 conversations. You're not emotionally scattered. You're centered, untouchable. So from now on, you don't owe anyone your story. You don't owe your thoughts to anyone who isn't sharpening you in return. You don't need to be accessible. You need to be intentional. Protect your energy. Let your silence be the gatekeeper. And if they can't respect your boundaries, they don't belong near your presence. Number 5, use solitude as a weapon. Most men today are terrified of being alone. They need noise. They need distraction. They need people around them 24/7 because silence forces them to face the one thing they've been running from, themselves. Let me tell you something. You do not become dangerous by always being connected. You become dangerous when you master solitude, because only in solitude can a man see himself clearly, without noise, without lies, without masks. Seneca said, "A man who is everywhere is nowhere." That's what most men are today, nowhere. They're scattered across social media, group chats, shallow conversations, and endless noise. They can't sit still. They can't sit alone. And because of that, they never sharpen their edge. But here's the truth. Solitude is where kings are forged. It's where warriors recenter. It's where every powerful man goes to reset, to reflect, to plan his next move with brutal clarity. So here's the practice. 1 hour, every day, alone. No phone, no music, no distractions, just you, your mind, your thoughts, your body. That hour, you can train, you can journal, you can reflect, you can strategize. But the rule is simple. You face yourself. No running, no numbing, just presence. This isn't some self-care gimmick. This is wartime strategy. Because when you can think clearly in solitude, you stop getting pulled by weak opinions and external pressure. You build a bulletproof mind. You become the kind of man who walks into chaos and remains unmoved. Because he's already faced every demon in silence. You want to know why your life feels out of control? Because you're never alone long enough to hear your own thoughts. You're always reacting, never reflecting. You're so busy consuming, you've forgotten how to create yourself. And here's the kicker. The more you build this discipline of solitude, the less permission you'll need from the world. You stop chasing approval. You stop needing noise to feel alive. You start trusting your own instincts. And when you trust yourself, you move different. You make better decisions. You speak less and mean more. You walk with weight. You become a man who doesn't just go with the flow. You set the current. So if you're serious about becoming unshakable, start here. 1 hour, daily. No excuses. Build that hour, like your life depends on it, because it does. That hour is where you disconnect from weakness and reconnect with your true self. Use solitude as your weapon, because the man who can sit alone is the man no one can control. Number 6, build a secret life of strength. You want to know what real power looks like? It's not in the flex, it's in the silence. It's not in the show, it's in the shadows. Most men live loudly and die quietly. They broadcast every goal, they post every gym session. They tell the world how hard they're grinding. But here's the truth. The more you reveal, the less you command. Because once they know how you move, they know how to stop you. That's why the most dangerous men don't show their cards. They build in silence, they suffer in silence, they sharpen their edge behind the scenes, while the rest of the world watches the circus. This is your next level. Build a secret life of strength. That means behind every casual conversation, there's a mind that's training relentlessly. Behind every calm look, there's a man who's already fought his inner war before sunrise. Behind every smile, there's a mission no one knows exists. You don't need to prove your growth. You need to live it, silently. So here's what you do. You create a shadow mission, a path you walk, without applause, without posts, without recognition. You train in silence. You read when they scroll. You fast while they feast. You build systems while they waste hours talking about motivation. You stack wins nobody sees. You prepare for war while they entertain themselves into softness. Every habit becomes sacred. Every routine becomes a ritual, and no one has to know, because this isn't for them. It's for the man you're becoming. Why? Because secrecy breeds unpredictability, and unpredictability is power. When nobody knows how you think, how you move, how deep your preparation goes, you become impossible to control. You walk into the world untraceable, unshaken, built from the inside out. That's what masculinity looks like at its highest form. Silent excellence. No performance, no seeking validation, just discipline, executed in the dark. This isn't about being mysterious to seem cool. It's about being untouchable in a world that constantly wants to read you, predict you, and dismantle you. So stop giving them the blueprint. Stop giving them your process. Stop leaking your energy through updates, announcements, and watch me moments. From now on, build like a ghost, grind like a machine, and when they finally see what you've become, it'll already be too late for them to catch up. Build your secret life of strength. Let the results be loud. Let your process remain hidden, and watch what happens when no one sees you coming. Number 7, let your presence speak. You want to know what real dominance looks like. It's not loud, it's not aggressive, it's not performed. Real dominance is felt before a single word is spoken. In a room full of noise, the most powerful man is the one who says nothing and still owns the space. You don't need to bark. You don't need to beg. You don't need to posture. You need presence. Because when your body, your breath, and your energy are aligned, people feel you before they hear you. That's the final Stoic weapon. Let your presence speak. It's an ancient truth modern men have forgotten. We chase validation through our voices, when the greatest warriors mastered stillness, calm, poise, posture, because presence is a language, and once you master it, you command attention without seeking it. So here's the action. Step 1. Body language. Straight spine, shoulders back, chin neutral. Stand like you're rooted to the earth. Walk like you have purpose, even when you're going nowhere. When you sit, own your space. Don't shrink, don't fidget, don't fold. Step 2. Eye contact. Stop darting around, stop looking down. Train yourself to hold your gaze, slow, steady, unbroken, not as a challenge, but as control. If your eyes wander, your mind does too. Lock in. Step 3. Breathing. Your breath is your anchor. Control it and you control tension. Practice calm breathing in high-stress moments. 4 seconds in, 4 seconds hold, 4 seconds out. This alone separates men who react from men who rule. Step 4. Stillness. Stop over-expressing. You don't need to explain everything. You don't need to react to every word, every look, every challenge. Let people wonder what you're thinking. Let them lean in. Stillness creates gravity. This isn't about faking confidence. It's about building composure. Stoics believed stillness is the highest form of power, because when your body is calm, your mind is clear. And when your mind is clear, your voice, your words, your decisions cut like a blade. But here's the real reward. When you walk into a room with presence, people feel it. They respect it. They respond to it. Not because you demanded it, but because you embodied it. No words, no announcement, just presence. So starting today, I want you to train presence like a skill. No more nervous tics. No more low posture. No more collapsing under pressure. Command space. Command stillness. Command respect, without saying a word. Because the man who can stay silent, still, and strong, is the man who controls the room. Let your presence speak, and watch the world fall in line. This ancient Stoic law isn't about being mysterious to look cool. It's about reclaiming your masculine edge in a world that's trained you to overshare, overtalk, and overexplain. Every time you leak your thoughts, your plans, your emotions, you give away power. But when you move in silence, you keep that power. You become focused, precise, unshakable. The average man wastes energy seeking approval. The dangerous man conserves it and strikes with calculated force. Let them talk. Let them perform. You don't need to explain yourself. You need to outwork them in silence, outgrow them in silence, and win so quietly, they won't see you coming until it's too late. Here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, live these 7 principles in total silence. Don't announce it. Don't explain it. Just apply, and watch everything shift. If you're ready to become the kind of man who commands respect without speaking, like this video, subscribe, and drop a comment below. What will you stop saying and start doing in silence? This is your moment. Stop talking. Start becoming dangerous.